Hello everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be filming a brand new bookshelf tour. When I first moved into this house, I did give you guys a video of me setting up my bookshelves. However, a lot of things have changed since we first moved in, and I thought that it was about time that I sit down today and film this video for you guys. So for those of you who don't know, I did move house last summer. Tom and I had the keys in November of 2023, I believe it was, and then it took us quite a while to get the renovation done. We essentially gutted the whole house and had to rewire it, do all of the plumbing, knock down walls, put them back up again, and essentially do the whole thing ourselves, which definitely took a lot of time and effort. Of course, I'm here now, all of that was worth it, but along the way I did have to unhaul a lot of books because whilst this house isn't necessarily smaller, the way that we've made the rooms is quite different, and so we don't necessarily have a lot of shelf space. So previously I had a library with a wall of bookcases, and honestly that was my dream, but realistically I knew that I couldn't have that in this house, so I have tried to do the best that I can. I do have 4 full-size bookcases. I of course have 2 behind me here, I have 1 in the hallway, and I have 1 upstairs. So I will be talking you through all of those room by room, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Now to start off, I know I'm going to get questions about these shelves, so the ones behind me here are both from Argos. They are a thinner shelf as well, I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but essentially I believe that they are made more for paperbacks or DVDs. The bigger hardcovers that I have do fit on them, however there is a lot of bowing on the shelves because of the weight, so I think next time I would buy some sturdier ones, but for now they will do. And then the other 2 shelves that I have are both from my old house. They are the IKEA Billy bookcases, which are a staple here on BookTube, and I absolutely love them. They have lasted me, I want to say 6 or 7 years now, and they're still going strong. So those are my bookcases. I will leave them linked down below if I can find them. And with all that being said, I'm not going to waste any more time, so let's get on with the bookshelf tour. So I've decided to start this video here because these are my pride and joy. I absolutely love these shelves. They house some of my favourite books and series, and I just thought it would be nice to start us off here, especially as this is where I was filming the intro for the video. So as I mentioned, these bookshelves are from Argos. We got them in a wooden colour in order to match the TV unit, and honestly I feel like it is a pretty good match, so I'm definitely happy with that. We were thinking of building a media wall, however this just works well for us at the minute, and we didn't want the extra faff and hassle of trying to build something like that, especially if we were thinking of changing it in the future. So this is what we've gone with, and honestly I really love it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through the top 2 shelves first because they're my DVD shelves, and then we'll get into the books. I don't know if any of you care about the DVDs and what's on them, but I feel like it'll be interesting to show you because they are there. You probably have seen them in the background, and I would just like to give you guys a closer view. So starting off with this shelf, on the top there we have a fake potted plant because I could not be trusted to keep these plants alive. I have a photo from my graduation with my family, and then I have a Mickey Funko Pop with the Walt Disney World Castle. As you can tell, I am a big fan of Disney, and I have a very big collection of the Disney animated classics in these gorgeous exclusive slipcases. So I am just going to move you along here. I don't know if you can quite see, but I do have all of them in order, so I'm not going to count them through or go through them all, but I will show you what they look like. I don't have a few of the newer ones. I'm not sure where they're up to in terms of releasing them yet, but I am just going to give you a little glance at this shelf as well because I do have all of the ones up until the Strange World, which is number 60. Can you believe I have 60 of these? That is just insane. Moving on then into my Disney Pixars. I was gonna try and collect these. I have started, as you can see. I don't know if I'm gonna carry on. I was doing pretty well and then I just haven't. Obviously these are available on Disney Plus now, so I don't need to own them physically, but I do have a few of my favourites. Brave is definitely a standout. I absolutely love that film. And I actually haven't watched Lightyear yet, so I definitely need to get on that. After this though, we move into our live action remakes. Again, I only have a few here. I have my favourites. I absolutely love Maleficent. I adore Cinderella as well. Beauty and the Beast is fantastic and I love it for nostalgia reasons, but Belle's auto-tune in this isn't the best, is it? So that's definitely a factor that brings the enjoyment down a little bit. Into the Woods is great, Alice in Wonderland is a favourite, and The Jungle Book I watched in cinema, and the part with King Louis absolutely terrified me, but I loved it. So yeah, those are the ones I have for these. Then we have my Harry Potter collection and a few of Tom's 4K Marvel films. Speaking of Marvel films, I have forgotten to show you the ones up here. So I bought Tom this set for his birthday, I want to say like 3 years ago. It's the Marvel Infinity Saga, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but the spines make up an image and I absolutely love it. We are massive Marvel fans, and yeah, I just thought this would be nice for him to have, so I did buy it for him. Moving on into these films, again, these are ones we started collecting when we first got together, I think, and we just loved how they looked. So whilst all of them aren't out yet, we do have the majority of the Marvel films in these exclusive slipcases, and again, yeah, we just absolutely love them. The most recent one I found the other weekend actually, and it was Wakanda Forever, I believe, which as you can see is here. So we are buying them out of order, we just see them and grab them when we can. But yeah, so far we have a pretty good collection of the Marvel films, and I will be continuing to purchase some more. Right, I'm back to the shelf on the left, and I think I'm going to go across again for this shelf because this houses the majority of my Agatha Christie collection. I am going to start off though with the books that aren't a part of that collection, which are a few murder mysteries that I have here. I have Suddenly a Murder, Crocodile on the Sandbank is one that I actually bought in Egypt and I'm planning on reading very soon. And then The Asawa Murders is on my Buzzwordathon TBR, so I do like to keep it there just to remind me that I do need to read it. Then we get into some Agatha Christie inspired books by Sophie Hannah, following Poirot, I believe. Haven't read them yet, but obviously they're on my shelves and I would like to get to them. Then we have the movie tie-in editions of Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, and A Haunting in Venice. I actually love these adaptations and I'm really hoping that they're going to do more because I just have such a fun time watching them. A Haunting in Venice was actually very dark and scary, but I really had a good time with it. And if I can just move these, I will show you the covers because I just feel like they are beautiful. So we have Murder on the Orient Express, which looks like this. Then we have Death on the Nile, which is one of my favourites. And then lastly is A Haunting in Venice. Look how creepy that looks. I just love it so much. Then we have a collection of Miss Marple short stories here. I have read a few, but not a lot, so I definitely need to make sure that I'm prioritising more of these. Short stories aren't my favourite, so that's probably why I haven't been gravitating towards it. But I do like Miss Marple, so I would like to try and get through these. Then we have some standalone murder mysteries by Agatha Christie. I recently hauled these three books, which is The Man in the Brown Suit, The Seven Dials Mystery, and Why Didn't They Ask Evans? And actually, these are the only books that I need to collect now, and I will have finished my Agatha Christie collection. So I am making my way through the list on the back here. I'm not doing too badly, but I'm about halfway, so I definitely need to get going with it. I'm actually scared that these are going to go out of print because they have stopped doing these covers in the Marple and Poirot books now. So that is definitely spurring me on to try and complete this collection ASAP. I'm just going to pop this here for now, otherwise I'm going to struggle to get it back in there. But yeah, we have the standalone murder mysteries. Moving into the Tommy and Tuppence books. I haven't actually read these yet. I think I'm going to tackle these after I finish the Poirot books. Then we move into Miss Marple, and if you couldn't tell, Miss Marple has this icon, which I just think is so cute. I have read each and every single one of these and I loved them. My favourite, I think, surprisingly, was actually Nemesis. This blew me away. I absolutely loved it. I feel like because Miss Marple is actually part of the mystery from the get-go in this, I just had a better connection to it and I really did enjoy it. So if you guys have struggled through a few Marple books, definitely give this one a go. I really did enjoy it. And then, as I said, I'm going to move along to this shelf just because the Agatha Christie collection continues. These are all of the Poirot books. I'm so proud that I own all of them. They fit on one shelf just about and they just look amazing. I don't know if you can tell, but Dumb Witness is sticking out a little bit. This is the next book I'm going to read, so I have read up until that point. So I'm not doing too badly right now. I did make it a goal of mine to read one of these a month last year. I didn't quite manage it, but I definitely want to get back on that this year. So these will definitely be getting read relatively soon. Standouts for me are, of course, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Absolutely loved that one. I really enjoyed, of course, Murder on the Orient Express, the ABC Murders, and I can't wait to continue on with the rest of them. I have actually read Death on the Nile as well. I think I mentioned that earlier. This is one of my favourites. I absolutely love Egypt, and the story and the setting was just so good. And even though I'm so familiar with the story, I could easily reread this one. Another one that I have read, actually, I don't think I've read any of these up until Halloween Party. I read this for Halloween a few years ago and really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the cover that matches these, which really annoys me, but I do have a beautiful edition that came out not too long ago, and yeah, that just sits right at the end of my shelves there. Right, I think what I'm going to do now is tackle this shelf by shelf and then move on to the one on the right, just because there isn't any correlation from this point onwards. So I feel like that just gives us a better plan. So as you can see here, we have a bookshelf full of adult fantasy. This is one of my all-time favourite series. It's The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. And if you haven't read this one yet, I would highly recommend. I read it as part of the Catch Up Book Club, which is a book club hosted hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books here on YouTube. And I absolutely fell in love with these books and the world and the characters, honestly just everything. It's such a phenomenal series, but it will truly break your heart. So you start off with Assassin's Apprentice, which is here. This is the first trilogy. This is where I'd start. I would then move into the Live Ship Traders trilogy. Then we go into the Tourneyman trilogy, which is these three books. I would then take a bit of a break from this world and go into this quartet. This is the Rainwild Chronicles, and whilst it's not as fantastic as the rest of the books in the realm of the Elderlings, in my personal opinion, I feel like you definitely need to read these in order to gain some understanding of where our characters are and what is actually going on in the greater context of the world. After reading all of these, you can move on to the final trilogy and the best, in my opinion. These broke my heart, especially the last one. I'm not going to tell you why, but wow, we went on such a journey. This just absolutely ruined me. And honestly, I'm pretty desperate to reread this whole world, and I may do, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then because I had some space here, I put the Kings of the Wild series by Nicholas Eames. It looks like this. I haven't read it, but the audiobooks are available on Everend, so I may try and prioritize them this year. Coming down to this shelf, there isn't really an order to these books. It's just kind of what I thought looked nice. So I've started with the Curse of Saints and the Curse of Sins here. I have to show you the covers because look at how pretty these are, you guys. They are genuinely some of the most stunning books. I then have the Art of Prophecy, which I haven't read yet, but it is the Waterstones exclusive edition, which is gorgeous. The second book is also out, and I do have the Waterstones exclusive edition. Then I have the Imperium trilogy by Claire Legrand. The first book is Furyborn, and I'm actually currently reading Furyborn. It's right next to me here. I have read the first book before, but I've never carried on with the series, and for some reason I've just been drawn to it this year, so I have now picked it up, and hopefully I can finish out this trilogy. Then we move into the Bloodsworn series by John Gwynne, which starts off with The Shadow of the Gods. This is a Norse-inspired fantasy world, and I'm actually reading John Gwynne's Faithful and the Fallen series this year as part of the catch-up book club, so after I complete that series, I will come and read this one. Then we have my Nevernight books, which are some of my all-time favourites. Look how pretty this is. I did annotate this, which is crazy. I never annotate my books anymore, and I do think that it is signed actually as well. Let me check. Yes, it is. Look how cool that is, guys. I met Jay Kristoff in Manchester a few years ago, and because it was a first edition, he gave me a little Mr. Kindly, which I'm just obsessed with. And then lastly on this shelf, we have some new favourites. We have some Carissa Broadbent books, starting with the Crowns of Nyaxia duology here. I do have another book on the shelves that doesn't quite fit on this particular shelf, but I will show you in a bit. And then this is one of the newest books, which is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, which I will hopefully get to this year. Right, moving down, guys, is going to be a bit tricky because we are coming to the corner where I can't really get to, but here we have my Sarah J. Maas books. I don't feel like these need an explanation, to be honest. These are the newer covers. Tom got me these for my birthday last year. I absolutely love them. I know they're not to everyone's taste, but I just love how colourful they are and how simple they are. But let me just show you one of the covers. I mean, how beautiful is that? I really do love them. And then I do have my original covers, but they are upstairs because I can't have that many books on these shelves. And so I decided to have these ones on display here and keep the other editions for now. Then we of course have the Crescent City series. Beautiful covers, absolutely love them. And then we also come into my ACOTAR books, which are firm favourites. Then moving down, this is definitely a messy corner, so please excuse that. But I do have some jigsaw puzzles there, I have some TBR books there, and then I have some big Harry Potter books there that don't fit on any shelves. Next to that, I do have my Nerdy Ink Harry Potter covers, which I just love. I don't really display these anymore because I don't agree with the author and her views, so that is why they are not on display, but this is a series that is so close to my heart. I couldn't face getting rid of them, and they are going to stay here on my bookshelves. And then moving across, we have my Tolkien books. Now again, this isn't all of them. They are kind of scattered about the house, so you will see more as I show you guys the other bookshelves, but these are the illustrated editions, which are just stunning. I'm just going to try and pop you down there so that you can see the spines, but look at how beautiful these are, you guys. I did recently read The Hobbit. I am now currently making my way through the Fellowship of the Ring. You can see my bookmark there. I am almost done now. I have about an hour left of the audiobook, and I have been reading it as well as listening to it. So I'm very excited to finish that, and then I'm of course going to move into The Two Towers and The Return of the King. And I would like to carry on this journey after that and finally get to these books because I haven't actually read these these yet, and I'm so embarrassed to say, because for those of you who don't know, I'm absolutely obsessed with Tolkien and the world of the Lord of the Rings, but I feel like I'm a fake fan because I haven't made it to these yet. So I definitely plan on doing that after I tackle the Lord of the Rings again. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I would love to finally get to them. Tolkien's world is just so expansive. There's so much to learn about. And these are some things that have been mentioned in passing as well in these stories that I've read so far. So I would like to get a better grasp on them. And then I did mention that I had another Carissa Broadbent book. This is the only one that would fit on this shelf. So that is why it's there. But this is Six Scorched Roses. I have read this one. It is a novella and I really enjoyed it, but I don't have room for it anywhere else at the minute. So it does just stay there. Right. I'm now back to the bookshelf on the right. I'm sorry if this is confusing, but this is the first shelf that I'm going to show you with some more adult high fantasy books, and these are paperbacks in particular. So if I just bring you guys back again and try and give you guys an overview, you can see that we have DVDs, Agatha Christie, then we have my paperback adult high fantasy books, moving into hardcover fantasies all the way down. So that is the order that I've tried to kind of stick to. Now, there are a few different books which I will talk about in a minute, but as a whole, this is something that does work for me, and you'll see what I mean with the shelves as well, actually. Look how much space I have for the paperbacks compared to the hardcovers. I can't even put candles or anything on here because they are so narrow. So yeah, just in case you wanted these shelves, I would go for the wider ones just so that you can fit more things on it. Anyway, we are starting here with some Brandon Sanderson books. I have read Elantris, I've also read The Final Empire, and I'm currently making my way through The Well of Ascension, and then I haven't read anything else, which is very embarrassing. I absolutely love the Cosmere, and I don't know why I keep putting it off, but I do, and I'm really annoyed at myself. I have made it a goal to finish the Mistborn trilogy this year though, so that is definitely going to be happening. And then I can hopefully move on to Mistborn Era 2, though I will need to check the reading order of the Cosmere before diving into these, because I'm sure you have to read a few books in between. So yeah, I do just need to double check, but I'm hoping to read a lot more Brandon Sanderson this year. Then we move into the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. Valor is sticking out a little bit because this is the next book that I need to read for Catch Up Book Club. I did read Malice last month, absolutely loved it. I can't wait to read Valor. I feel like it's going to be such an interesting novel, and it's one that I am so excited to get to, and I will be getting to it in the next week or so. Then we have a different set of books. These are not adult high fantasies, these are actually historical fiction novels, and I keep them here because they're a pop of colour, which is very nice, but they're also some of my all-time favourites. This is the Six Tudor Queens series by Alison Weir, who is a historian, and this is a kind of fictionalized historical book about the events of what went on in the lives of the Six Tudor Queens, who, if you don't know, were the 6 women married to Henry VIII, and it's just so fascinating. It's obviously rooted in truth and history because of Alison Weir's background, and yeah, it's just really fascinating. I have read books 1 to 4, I still need to read 5 and 6, but yeah, hopefully that can happen soon because I really do love these. Moving on down, we have some very colourful fantasy books. I love how this shelf is so vibrant. Starting off here, we do have my Samantha Shannon collection. I have read Priory, I haven't read A Day of Fallen Night. Also, I know I'm going to get comments. I know this is a prequel and is meant to go before, but I feel like the colour just blends so nicely with this one there. So that's why that is where it is. We then have the Bone Season series, which I'm ashamed to say I haven't read yet. I did read the Bone Season a while ago, but for some reason I put it down and never continued on with it. And again, I'm determined to change that, especially with the 5th book being released this year. So this is definitely a priority series for me. Then we have the Drowning Empire trilogy. I'm not sure if there are going to be more books, to be honest, but these are the ones I have so far. Again, this is a series that I meant to pick up a while ago and I just still haven't, so I'm desperate to get to them. If you've read them, actually, please let me know your thoughts. It just sounds so interesting. I believe we have magic in here involving bones, and I just thought that sounded like a really cool idea. Then we move into my Chloe Gong books. Now, I don't have all of Chloe Gong's books here. I have 2 on a different shelf. Honestly, the only reason is that I wanted these 3 books there to fill up the shelf, and I have read one of the ones that are elsewhere. So these are actually some that I haven't read. The only one I've read is These Violent Delights, and I need to carry on with Our Violet Ends. This is a series or a duology that I haven't yet gotten to, and I think I'm scared to dive in because I just haven't heard anything about it, so I have been putting it off. So again, if you have read these, please let me know your thoughts. I would love to know, and yeah, I just need to stop being scared to dive into series. Then we have a new favourite of mine, which is the Crimson Moth. I can't take it out because the shelf is jam-packed, unfortunately, but the sequel's coming out later on this month, and I am so excited for it. I honestly can't tell you. I picked this one up on a whim, and I flew through it in one day. I absolutely loved it, and yeah, I am definitely anticipating the sequel. And then a duology trilogy that I haven't actually read yet, I think I'm scared of the hype to be honest, is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is another instance where I do have more of Rebecca Ross's books on another shelf. Don't ask me why they're not together, this is just what I went with, but I think it's because I want them in eyesight so that I can remember to actually pick them up. Moving down one more shelf, we come to this one, which again, I just love. Now, I have actually moved this around pretty recently. As you can see, I do have my Fourth Wing books here, which weren't on this shelf before. They were on the one in the hallway, but I put them here because I just love them. I love the spines. I feel like it blends in nicely with the other books as well. So I, of course, couldn't leave them there. I will just show you the stenciled edges for these because these are the Waterstones exclusive edition. I have managed to get my hands on all three. Don't ask me how, honestly. I'm so scared for the release of the next book. But yeah, if I can show you here, I don't know if you can see, they all have the same design and I absolutely love them. Then we have the Fairy Loot Red Rising books. Now these were the new printings and again, they are just beautiful. I completed the Red Rising trilogy last year. I still need to read the next couple of books, but for now I'm happy with what I read. I haven't heard about Fairy Loot releasing the other books yet, but hopefully they do because yeah, they're just beautiful. Then a series that I'm embarrassed to say I haven't tackled yet is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. These are just gorgeous again. And as you know, I've met J. Kristoff. I loved his Nevernight books, but for some reason, I haven't picked these up yet. Then we are moving into my Helen Shearer section. I love these books so, so much. Iron and Embers has just come out. It's peeking out there because I do want to read it next month. But the Legends of Thesma series are some of my absolute favourite books. I loved this series. I flew through it, had such an amazing time, and I would highly recommend it if you guys love an enemies to lovers romantasy with a badass female main character. I absolutely loved it. Then we have a recent addition to my shelves, which is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This again sounds phenomenal. It sounds like a book I'm gonna love. It has dragons, it has female rage in there. It's also a romantasy, so I'm hoping that I do really enjoy this one. And then we come into the start of my Cassandra Clare collection. Now again, I actually have so many Cassandra Clare books, it's honestly unreasonable by this point, but I do just have the core books on this shelf so that I can show off the stories that I love. Starting with Swordcatcher, I haven't actually read this one yet, which again I'm embarrassed to say. This is the Illumicrate edition. It is beautiful and I keep that one there. The next one is actually a Kickstarter book that I backed and it is The Secrets of Blackthorn Hall. Still haven't read this one yet. It's only tiny, but yeah, I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet. The second Kickstarter book is on the way to me as well, so that will be joining this one here. Then we have the collection of short stories moving down into the Cassandra Clare shelf. Now, I just love how the spines look for this series, and I thought I'd put them in chronological order, but I definitely haven't because this series comes after these two. So yeah, please ignore that. So we have the Mortal Instruments series here. We then have the Infernal Devices. Moving on into the Last Hours trilogy, and then we have the Dark Artifices here as well, alongside another short story book, which is Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. As well as that, I do just have two little books here. We have a sampler that I got of Chain of Gold from Owl Crate, and then we have an illustrated piece from Cassandra Jean. I honestly am not sure what this is. We just have a few illustrations, and yeah, I just keep them on this shelf because it is related to the Shadowhunter world. In case you guys are interested, I do have a bit of an audience. She is sleeping, but oh no, she's awake. Yeah, she's just been watching me this entire time, and honestly, she's a mood, so yeah, I did want to show you guys that because she's just the cutest. But there you have it. Those are my shelves in the living room. I do just need to put a few books back where I didn't manage to squeeze them in just yet, and then I will take you to my hallway to show you guys the bookshelf that is there. So this is the next bookshelf behind me here. I do film a few videos here, so you probably have seen it before, but again, I'm going to give you guys an in-depth look at what we actually have on here, because as you can see, some of the books are turned outwards so that you can see the stenciled edges, and yeah, I just really do love this shelf. So again, I'll just give you guys a quick little overview. I'm just gonna slowly move you down so that you can see what they look like before I move any of the knickknacks and stuff like that, because I do have quite a bit on these shelves. So yeah, that is what we currently have. And then this is going to be a bit difficult because this is actually a taller shelf for me, but I have two slate plaques on here. They are both for Tom and I for when we graduated. So one of them says Tom and his degree, and then one of them says Rhiannon and my degree. Then we have this gorgeous glass piece that was actually in my auntie's house. I've loved it ever since she bought it, and unfortunately she passed away a few years ago now, very suddenly, and that is one thing that I took for myself, and it just lives up there because I absolutely love it. Next door you can see we have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. My mum got me this a few years ago and I just loved them, so I decided to keep them on my shelves here, especially because I do have some fairy tale novels on this shelf as well. Something else that I've seen that I just forgot, but yeah, this is a little pyramid that I got on my recent trip to Egypt. I thought it looked nice by the slate there, so I have just left it on the top. Right, moving down into the first shelf, this is what it looks like. Now, I wanted this bookshelf to just be really colourful and pretty, so this houses a lot of my nicer editions. I did say earlier, guys, that I do have a lot of Cassandra Clare books, and as you can see, I do have a section here dedicated to Cassandra Clare once again. I will move this candle out the way, but I do really love the smell of this one. My sister got me this for my birthday, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. But for now, let's move it down here. I have the Waterstones exclusive edition of the Dark Artifices, which are so hard to come by now. I feel like people pay a ridiculous amount of money for these, and yeah, I'm really lucky to have managed to buy them all when I did, because obviously I have the full set now. I also have the Red Scrolls of Magic in this set as well. And then we have the newly released Mortal Instruments series in these collector's editions. Again, I love these. I don't know if I can show you because they're really wedged in. Don't really want to move them, but these actually come out on my birthday every year, bang on the 3rd of July, and so I do pre-order them. I have pre-ordered the 4th book as well, though there isn't a cover reveal yet, but hopefully it's just as beautiful. And yeah, I just absolutely love this little corner here. Moving across though, we do have Hook and Emma Swan here as my Funko Pops. I have recently started rewatching Once Upon a Time with Gavin and his Patreons, and honestly, it's the best time. I was obsessed with the series for a long time when I first watched it, and now that obsession is coming back, guys. So I did have this Hook pop to start off with, and then I just found Emma Swan on Vinted. So they're finally together, and yeah, I just love them so much. But I have put them in front of my fairy tale books because, again, Once Upon a Time, if you don't know, follows a group of characters who are sucked from their fairy tale world and put into our world, and it's crazy. So yeah, that's essentially why I've put them here. But we have the Mina Lima editions of these stories, and honestly, they're just so beautiful. There are so many more of these that you can get. However, these are my favorites, and I don't want to be spending money at the minute on stuff that I don't really need. So I'm really happy that I have these. Again, I can't really take them out. There we go. You can kind of see there. We've got the old storybook kind of vibes, and I just think these are so pretty. They're very interactive as well. You can take elements out of these whilst you're reading, and there's just a lot of fun things you can do when reading these books. So I do have these here. I'm gonna have to try and push these back later because I'm scared that this is gonna fall on me whilst holding the camera, but these are some gorgeous books. I absolutely love them, and the spines as well, guys. I'm just obsessed. Moving across, we have a picture of myself, my cousin, and my sister with my nan and my auntie. Unfortunately, both my nan and my auntie passed away. It's still really hard for me to think about and talk about, but I do like to keep this picture here because it's one of the rare pictures where I have with both of them. I don't really have too many photos with my nan, and then my auntie hated taking photos, so I don't really have too many with them. So I'm really happy that I've got this one. This one was actually taken when my nan was ill. She's in a wheelchair here outside the hospital, and we actually all went to watch my brother play rugby because he had a game right next to the hospital, and yeah, it was just a really nice day. So this has a lot of memories for me, and it's very special, so I do keep it on this shelf. And then behind that we have some of my Agatha Christie hardcovers. I told you guys I love having multiple editions of books that I love on my shelves, and of course Agatha Christie is one of my favourite authors, and she has some of the best special editions. Now I'm not going to go and grab all of these, but I do have 3 out of 4 of the seasons collections here. So I've got Midsummer Mysteries, Midwinter Murder, and Autumn Chills. I think I'm missing Sinister Spring is what I think it's called, so I do need to get that. We have The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which is one of my favourite, Hercule Poirot's Christmas, and Then There Were None, which is another favourite, Murder on the Orient Express, The ABC Murders, The Tuesday Murder Club, 450 from Paddington, and Death on the Nile, which I'm going to pull down and show you guys because it's just so beautiful. I absolutely love it. My aim is, of course, to try and get more of these. I don't know where I'm going to put them when I do, though. I think I have room for 1 more on the top here, but these are the ones I have so far. I really do love them, and yeah, I do just want to expand this collection even further. Moving down into this second shelf, this is another one that I love. Honestly, I love all the shelves on this bookshelf, but I do like how we go from the reds and the blues and the oranges into the purpley pink colours. I think it just flows really nicely, and yeah, it's quite striking, honestly. I've also also put a picture of Tom and Joanna, Sean and I from when we went to Alcatraz prison in Liverpool here. The jumpsuits match the spine of the ending fire perfectly, so I just thought it was great to have there, you know? It was also a moving in present from Adriana. She said she wanted me to have a picture of her in this house somewhere, and honestly I think she chose a pretty good one. For now though, I'm going to move that out of the way just to the side here so that I can show you the books that I have. Again, I don't think I can take these out because they are literally wedged in there, so I do apologise, but we have The Song of Achilles and Circe by Madeline Miller, two of my all-time favourite books. Same goes for Hamnet actually, by Maggie O'Farrell. This tells the story of William Shakespeare and his son Hamnet, and it's honestly such an amazing, hard-hitting novel that I would recommend to every single person. It's just beautifully told, and yeah, it's stuck with me for quite a long time actually. Then we have The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi. I have read Feybound by this author, but I haven't read the series yet. The reason I bought these is because Becca from Becca and the Books was raving about them. I did own The Final Strife before that anyway, but yeah, Becca read the series, absolutely loved it until she came to the last book, and yeah, that's definitely got me scared to read it now. As I said, I was interested in it beforehand. The fact that Becca loved it also spurred me on to want to read it, and then as soon as I bought this third book, she put out a vlog saying that it just wasn't great, so definitely apprehensive about that now. Then we have the stunning UK editions of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I'm not sure if these are the Illumicrate editions that I have or just the standard editions, but I do have both. So I do have two copies of the exact same book in a way with these gorgeous covers, but honestly, again, people were selling these for such a crazy amount. They were going out of print everywhere, and I'm really lucky to have two sets of them. So I have these on display, and then if something ever happens to them, I do have a spare, which honestly is extra, I know, but this is one of my all-time favourite duologies. Absolutely loved it, and if anything happened to these books, it would devastate me. Then we have another duology or series, I'm not quite sure yet, but it's a set of books that I haven't read, but we have She Who Became the Sun and He Who Drowned the World. Don't know why I haven't read them yet. I need to prioritise them, but again, they look stunning on this shelf, and so that's why I put them there. Then we have the An Ember in the Ashes quartet, which I have actually read. I really did enjoy my time reading this, and again, it's one that I would highly recommend. I actually listened to the audiobooks as well as reading them physically, and that was such an amazing experience. I would love to take these out and show you the editions because they're Fairy Loot editions, but literally I cannot move a single book here, so I'm not going to try because knowing me, this shelf would just collapse on top of me. Then I'll quickly show you these little knickknacks. So I have a Belle inspired mug here that my mum bought me, and I just think it is perfect to have on the bookshelf for obvious reasons. I do keep quite a few bookmarks in here, as you can see, but I just absolutely love it. It's so pretty and colourful, and yeah, it just makes the shelf, if you ask me. And then here I have a little scarab beetle that I got in Egypt, and again, it just lives here because I don't really have another place for it, and it's colourful, so I put it in front of the blue books there. Jade Fire Gold is a book that I do want to get to, I just don't prioritise it, so let me know if you have read it and have enjoyed it. Same goes for Six Crimson Cranes and Her Radiant Curse by Elizabeth Lim. I'm desperate to read them, I just never prioritised them, so again, please try and convince me to read any of these books if you have. I don't need convincing to read Spinning Silver and Uprooted though. I read these quite a while ago now, but fell in love with both. I love Naomi Novik's writing style. It's such a magical, atmospheric book, both of them, and yeah, I just really loved it. So would highly recommend these two if you haven't read them already. Moving down, guys, we are finally getting to the stenciled edges. I'm gonna see if I can try and pull a few of these out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to, but on this shelf, as you can see, I do have a Funko Pop of Belle here. This is actually a really recent Funko Pop that I found. I'd never seen it before, but I think I was in Currys of all places, which is like a tech, hardware, homeware store, and yeah, I just saw her there and she was on sale, and honestly, she just looked like me in this, so I thought I'm just gonna buy it. It looks like me sitting down reading a book, except when do I ever wear pretty pink dresses, really, but you know, that's the vibe. I really loved it, so that's why I bought her. And then we have a candle from Grace and Honey, which is Becca from Becca and the Books is Candle Shop. I don't know if she is going to be doing any orders again, but I really love this one, and so I have kept it there. And then if I just pan you to the side of this shelf here, we do have some pictures of when Tom and I went to Rome. Here we are in front of the Trevi Fountain. There was a guy there taking pictures. He charged us an obscene amount of money for these, but I really like them. There's a funny story to tell behind them as well, well, and yeah, I just think it looks really cute, so I do keep this on there as well. Now that I've moved everything off that shelf though, look at how stunning these stenciled edges are, guys. I could honestly stare at these all day. I've tried to do it where the colours kind of blend, however I'm not sure now looking at it if that's worked. So I do of course have some brighter colours here. This is Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I think, and She Who Became the Sun. They might be in the wrong order, I actually think that they are. Then we had the set of short stories that go with them, which was a different lighter colour, so I went more for the blue vibe going forwards. This one is a relatively new edition. It's the Courting of Bristol Keats, I want to say, which was included in a fairy loot. This one is Feybound. This one is When the Moon Hatched. This one, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was an Illumicrate pick. Same goes for this one, I have no idea. This is a Swan Lake retelling. Again, the name of the book is just escaping me right now. We then have the Adventures of Amina Al-Sadafi, which I love the contrast here. This is To Cage a God, which is actually on my Buzzwordathon TBR for this year, I think, so I will be getting to that soon. I can't remember the name of this one, but it's another dragon-inspired book. Then we have, is it A Star of Silver Flame Like Night? It's something like that. Oh my gosh, I feel awful right now that I can't remember. This is a duology that I do really want to prioritize. Look at the animals on the stenciled edges. I'm obsessed. Then I can't remember what this is. I think it's A Son of Blood and Ruin. And then we have my Atlas 6 books, which again, I haven't read. Moving down into this shelf, we have a photo frame that has a picture of me, Tom, and his family there, and also his friends behind it. I have covered his friends just because, you know, just in case they don't want to be seen. So that is why I have a picture on a picture. And then here I have another Grace and Honey candle. Normally my wax melt burner is here actually, but I took it off to burn it. I'm obviously not going to burn it on the shelves, and I put this in its place for now. This is just another beautiful shelf. I'm absolutely obsessed. If I were to change anything, I'd probably take off the darker books here because I do feel like it does ruin the vibe slightly. But we have the Illumicrate editions of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares here. They are completely different to the ones I showed you earlier, and they are stunning. Can't remember what these two are. These are some Olivia Blake books, I believe. This is a new one, Daughter of Chaos. This is Inkblood Sister Scribe, I believe it is. This is Lore by Alexandra Bracken, Heavenly Bodies, A Language of Dragons, The Hurricane Wars. We have God Killer and the sequel. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. This one, I can't remember. I think, was it The River Goddess? Oh, I can actually take this one out. Goddess of the River, that's what it is, by Vaishnavi Patel. Another beautiful, beautiful book there. If I can just put it back. And then we have Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, a really good book with a cat on there, so I absolutely loved it. Then we have The Starling House, which I haven't read yet, but I plan on reading. Babel, which I can't remember if this is the Illumicrate edition or the Fairy Loot one, but it is beautiful. And then we have one of my favourite new reads, which is The Jasad Air by Sarah Hashem. Moving down to the next shelf, the only thing that I have on this shelf is a picture from my graduation. It says Gradnio in Cymraeg, which is graduation in Welsh. And yeah, I just love this. It's a nice picture of me and Tom, and yeah, I keep it there for some reason. Moving that aside though, you can see the books clearly here. Now this is a shelf that I recently had to move around, and I don't like how it looks. Originally I wanted all my books upright, however I just don't have the space for that, and it's really annoying me. So I've gone with this, but I'm not keen. I don't like the fact that we have some that are not standing upwards, so I may play around with it, we shall see, but this is what it looks like for now. Starting over here on the left, we have the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. These are the Fairy Loot editions, if I can get them out. This is going to be a struggle, guys. I'm not sure if I can. I've gotten one of them out. There you go. You can see the stenciled edges there. Such a struggle because I've wedged these books in so tightly that, yeah, it's hard to get them out. Then we have The Warm Hands of Ghosts. I said I was going to read this last year and I didn't, so I need to get on that. Same goes for these Lexi Ryan books and the Rebecca Ross books. I don't know why I haven't picked them up. I feel like I'm going to really love them, and I just keep putting them off because I'm scared that I'm not going to. We then have The Starless Sea and The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, two popular books, and I still haven't read them yet because I'm scared of the hype. We then have Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I was excited for this. However, someone said that the next book isn't being released for years, and that's definitely put me off. Then we have the Scholomance trilogy by Naomi Novik, another one that I'm interested in but haven't read. Circe, I have another copy of this because it's my all-time favourite book. I absolutely loved this, and I can't wait to reread it because it genuinely blew me away. Then we have this series over here, a series that I've been saying that I'm going to read for honestly way too long, and I still haven't gotten to it. I am hoping over over the summer months though that I can tackle this series. I know people have said that you need a break between the books because they are very hard hitting, so I think if I read them over my summer holidays then that will be okay. So that is the plan. I'm really sorry that I haven't read them yet. Also, I don't know what this mark is up here. It's been there for a while, so please excuse that. But yeah, this is the last shelf before we go into one of my favourites, and that is of course my Tolkien shelf. I think you can see everything that's on there from where you are down there, but yeah, this is just an absolute favourite of mine. I don't know if you guys were watching my older videos from when I lived in my other house, but I actually had a full bookshelf dedicated to Tolkien. I had such a big collection. I had really old books and secondhand books that I'd collected over the years, and unfortunately I had to get rid of them because, as I said, I just don't have that much space to play with anymore. But I couldn't part with these because I just love them. They are so stunning, and yeah, it's like one of my favourite series of all time, so of course I had to keep as many of them as I could. I do also have some medals up here from when I did the Conqueror challenge. If you don't know, there is a challenge in which you walk a certain amount and then you get medals inspired by whichever fandom you've chosen. This was the Shire medal. I'm gonna really regret doing this now, aren't I? But look how beautiful this one is, guys. Absolutely love it. And the One Ring is in there somewhere. Can't remember where. I don't want to play around with it too much. Oh, it's stuck. I'm not going to do that now, but I do have a video on my channel where I did unbox this, so if you want a more in-depth look, I will leave it linked down below if I can remember. I have a golden coin that has just fallen off this bookshelf as I've started moving things about, but that just goes on a stand there normally. I have some Funko Pops, so I have Gimli, Aragorn and Legolas there, and then on the top I have Frodo, Samwise and Gandalf because of course I had to have them. I have also ordered the new Eowyn and Arwen Funko Pops as well, so they will be joining this shelf very soon, which I'm definitely excited about. Then we have this gorgeous snow globe that my mum got me. I don't know where she got it from, but it does work. How much was it? It was £42. I don't know if you can see the details there if you would like to check it out, but it's such a lovely present and I really do like it. It is hefty though, it's very heavy, so just be aware of that. And then I do have a candle from Midnight Flame, which is Bilbo's 111th birthday, which is essentially like a pumpkin spice candle, and it is divine. I don't think I'm going to take out any books here just because I don't want to mess anything up. But the cloth bounds here are some stunning editions. I absolutely love them. The Silmarillion has just been released in this edition as well, so I definitely need to get that. We then have this set of books, which are in the same edition. Again, I just have The Hobbits, The Lord of the Rings and The Silmarillion. I don't know if more are going to be released. This I might actually pull out. I think this was from Nerdy Ink. Absolutely loved these covers. I got these three and also The Hobbit, but I still don't have a book to put my Hobbit one on. So what I did is I bought these editions, which fit the covers that they had printed, and then I bought two sets, obviously, so that I could have the Nerdy Ink set and also the set with these covers, because again, these, if I can get them out, are really pretty. They're some of my favourites. I just love the illustrations on them. So I did decide to buy myself two sets, which is probably excessive, but you guys know by now that this is my favourite series, so I had to get those. I do have the one for The Hobbit on my shelf upstairs, so I may show you that later, but as I said, I need to find an edition that it will fit, and that's proving to be difficult. Then we have some editions of The Lord of the Rings that are bound up. So for those of you who don't know, The Lord of the Rings is actually one novel, however it's been split up over the years to make it easier to read. So I do have some collections here. I have this one that I got secondhand, I don't know from where, but Gandalf is on there and I thought it looked pretty cool. And then these two were from Waterstones, and they are the newest exclusive editions. I can't remember the name of them exactly, but they're gorgeous. They're the same in a way, however this is the leather bound copy and then this is kind of more of the standard, but they're both gorgeous and I absolutely love them. So there we have it, guys. This is this shelf once again in its entirety. I really hope you enjoyed getting a closer in-depth look at it. It is one of my favorites just because of how colourful and vibrant it is, and I do try and film a few videos here with this in the background because of how beautiful it is, though the lighting in here is rubbish, so I don't do it as often as I should, but I do like showing it off and I'm glad that I got to show you this shelf in depth. I am going to have to take a little break now, unfortunately, because my camera battery is flashing at me. I have been filming for quite a while, so I'm going to pop this camera on charge, and then once it's fully charged, I will take you upstairs to the next bookshelf, and you can see just how big of a mess that one is. My battery's charged. I'm here to show you my last shelf. I have also had to put a cardigan on because it's so cold today, so please excuse that. But this, as I said, is my last shelf, and I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a mess. This is pretty much my TBR shelf. There are so many books on here that I need to read, and honestly, I have no idea where else to put the books other than just scattered around on here. So it's not really in any particular order. There is somewhat of a structure to it, which I will talk you through in a second, but it's definitely not as aesthetic as the other bookshelves, and you're gonna have a bit of a shock. I'm gonna try and give you guys an overview as I did with the other 3 shelves as well. So I'm just gonna move slowly downwards. You can see yourselves now that we are getting to some books that are very much stacked on top of each other. So again, apologies for that, but this is what we are currently working with, guys, and yeah, like I said, it's just chaotic. Starting off on the top shelf, I do have some more contemporary kind of romance books here, just because I don't read a lot of them, but the ones I do have, I wanted to give them a spot on the shelves. So I do have some books by Carrie Hope Fletcher, who is someone I basically grew up with. I love Carrie. She is a West End performer, and she did used to have her own YouTube channel as well, which is where I found her, and yeah, absolutely love her. On top there, we have Hiding Him by Adam Hatton. Adam is a Disney YouTuber who recently self-published that book. I read it or listened to the audiobook and really loved it, and I bought myself a copy to support him. Next to that, we have my Heartstopper graphic novels. I did recently read these and yeah, just fell in love with them, so they stayed there. And then moving across, we have some more Lord of the Rings books. I do have my Argonath bookends, as you can see either side to them as well, but these are gorgeous. I feel like these are some of my favourites. The illustrations on them are just beautiful. And then these are the pocket editions, and I do have my Even Star necklace on there as well. Coming down to the first actual shelf of this bookcase, this is my middle grade shelf, so there is somewhat of an order to this one. As you can see though, I do have quite a few knickknacks on there. I have a Mermaid Lagoon candle here by Midnight Flame. I have Tom's Infinity Gauntlet, which we made out of Lego here as well, and then I have an Alice in Wonderland little teacup, as well as a middle grade magic candle on there as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you guys, but this is what I was on about when I was talking about the dust jacket for The Hobbit earlier. This is the best I can do in terms of showing you what it looks like, but we have Smaug on the front cover there, and then we have Thorin and the dwarves in the barrels, which is one of my favourite scenes, as well as Bilbo and Gollum in the Misty Mountains when they are having their game of riddles. This is a beautiful cover. I wish I had an edition to put this on, but unfortunately I don't just yet, so it does stay up here on top of my other middle grade books. I have just moved the gauntlet down. I'm not going to move anything else because honestly the rest of the shelves are just packed as it is, but we have one of my favourite sections on this shelf here. This is my Michelle Paver corner. For those of you who don't know, Michelle Paver is one of my all-time favourite authors. The Chronicles of Ancient Darkness series was the series that got me into reading. I read it when I was in year 7 in school, I believe, after my teacher recommended it to me, and I just fell completely in love. It's a series that I reread every year, and what's even better is that the audiobooks are narrated by Sir Ian McKellen, who, if you don't know, played Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, and that just has me sold. So I have her Gods and Warriors series here that I just read and finished last year. Then I have the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness series, the first 6 books at least, and then a few years ago she announced that she was writing more in the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness series, so we have the final 3 books here as well. Then we have some of my A Murder Most Unladylike books. These are the last few books that I need to read in order to finish off this series. So the full series isn't there, but yeah, these are ones that I do need to get to. Moving down into my Percy Jackson books, and we also have books 1 and 3 in the King Chronicles. I do have book 2 in a pile down here, which I will show you guys in a bit. I essentially took that one out because I am planning on reading it soon. So yeah, I do have the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and then the King Chronicles, which is a series focusing on ancient Egypt. Moving on, we have my Frostheart books, as well as Arcspire by Jamie Littler. We have the first book in the Land of Stories series by Chris Colfer. I do have all of them, but I don't have space for all of them on the shelves. So for now, I have book 1 out, and the rest are under my ottoman bed. Then we have Amari and the Night Brothers and Amari and the Great Game. I didn't buy the third one because it wasn't in the matching edition. These are both Waterstones exclusive editions with stenciled edges, and unfortunately they didn't do that for the third book. Same goes for Nevermore. I've been waiting for the 4th book in the series to come out for honestly so long. I'm kind of losing interest now, I'm not gonna lie, and I just received an email from Waterstones as well, letting me know that the next book in the series isn't gonna be an exclusive edition, even though they said that it was gonna be or something. So I don't know what to do about this series. I am in 2 minds, to be honest. I may give these to my niece because she would love them, but I'm definitely straying away from middle grade right now. I am obviously gonna keep my Michelle Paver books. I'm not even sure about Percy Jackson. I feel like I do want to keep these, but the Kane Chronicles I didn't absolutely love, so we'll see. But yeah, I feel like this shelf is gonna change quite a bit over the next few weeks, so it may end up looking completely different by the end of this year. Moving down to the next shelf, this is what this one looks like. I am wasting a bit of space here by having some Cassandra Clare books. You've seen before that I have the hardcover editions, I also have the new editions that are being released as well, and then I do have these paperbacks. However, I just love these so much. I love how colourful they are. They're so striking and I really do want to display them. So that is why I have these here. Also, I have another little metal plate that has the Doors of Moria on there, so I've kept that there, as well as some Funko Pops. These are some of my favourites. I absolutely love them. We have the dog from Pirates of the Caribbean, we have Baby Rocket, and then we have Cosmo, and yeah, I just love them. They're just adorable, so they stayed there. I have started with fantasy books in this corner here, mainly because of the Mortal Instruments, so I have a few fantasies that I need to read on top here. Then I have the Twin Crown series, which are some stunning books. Let me just turn them around if I can. They are the Waterstones exclusive edition with stenciled edges, and I'm currently reading the second book, which is why it's not actually there, but there is a space for it. That's where it normally lives, and yeah, I'm currently reading it, so I can't put it on there. Moving into some murder mystery and thriller books next. So I do have one or two fantasy books at the bottom here, and then it all moves into mystery thriller books, except for the Memory Police actually. I think I just put that there because of the red spine, but you guys know that murder mystery is one of my favourite genres. I love a good thriller as well, and so I do have quite a few paperbacks of those. So if I move you across as well, you can see, let me just move the guys out of the way. I do have a few more here. So Verity, I've already read. It's one of my favourite books. I absolutely loved it, mainly for the twist. I just didn't see it coming at all. The Last to Vanish is a new one. The Club is one that I'm interested in. The 20 by Sam Holland is one that I want to read because I've read a book by Sam Holland before and loved it. Ace of Spades has been on my TBR for way too long, so I do need to get to that. And then we have a couple here as well that I would like to get to, but I feel like I'm just always prioritising other books first. So these definitely need to get read. Then moving on down, this is where it starts to get messy because as you can see, I have a stack of books here on top of the shelf and it's just not great. So I don't really have a place to put these yet, and I don't want to keep them there in case the shelf starts to bow. But I did take the Scythe and the Tudor Rose series off of my shelves downstairs for now, just because I wanted to put other books on there for the time being. So I need to find a place for these, and then as I said, I took the second King Chronicles book down because I do want to get to that one. Bloodsong is another one I don't really have a space for. It's the first book in an adult high fantasy world. I do have the trilogy. My stepdad gifted it to me, so I need to find a space for it. And then these two are books that I'm reading for work. If you don't know, I'm a teacher in a secondary school. This one is for my Welsh class. It's called Llechi by Manon Steffan Ross, which is essentially like a murder mystery, and it's very gripping and fantastic. Manon Steffan Ross also wrote the Blue Book of Nebo, which Kayla from Books and Lala was speaking about not too long ago, and I have read the Welsh version of that as well. And then I have Goldfish Boy because I am actually going to be an English teacher after half term. I am taking on the role because someone is going off on maternity, and yeah, I got the job. So the book I need to read with my year 7s is going to be The Goldfish Boy. So I've kept that there just so I can start reading it before having to do the lessons on it. In terms of knickknacks on the actual shelf, I have a bookmark in here if I can open it from Chloe. I really struggled to open that, guys, but this is an alligator. I absolutely love it. Look at that. And yeah, I just love it. It's a bookmark, so you're meant to put it in the top of your book and it looks like there's a croc swimming on top of your book. Thank you so much, Chloe, for this one. I do really love it. I have used it a few times, but I do keep it safe in its box so that I don't lose it as well. So I'm just going to pop it back in there for now for safekeeping. Then I have a postcard that I got from Emily over at Emily Kathleen Reads because St Mary Mead is where Miss Marple lives. Again, if you recall earlier when I was talking about Miss Marple, she is a fictional character in Agatha Christie's murder mystery series, and yeah, absolutely love that. St Mary Mead is such a quaint little village, but a lot of things happen there, so I keep that on here. Then I have a book pot that I got from Illumicrate with all of my bookmarks, and then behind that we have some more mystery thriller books. The Last Housewife is one that I'm desperate to read. I have read No Escape, really loved it. The Cottage I got from Liam and I still need to read. These Shallow Graves I got from Caris and I still need to read. These two, I can't remember where I got them, but again, they're on my TBR. I would like to get to them. Same goes for The Split. I did read The Christie Affair, didn't love it. Nothing More to Tell is on my Buzzwordathon TBR for 2025, so that one will be getting read soon. The Cousins, I'm not too sure yet. Where Sleeping Girls Lie, I want to read Ace of Spades first because it's the same author as the one that wrote this book. So I would like to prioritise that because I've owned that one the longest. Then whilst I'm here, I'm going to show you the sword that I have here. I can't remember what this one is from. I feel like it's the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber, so I keep that there. as well as the sword from Throne of Glass as well. So yeah, I have that there. I got it from Very Loot. On top of this shelf, I have some manga. I have The Promised Neverland, which I need to read. I have volumes 1 to 5. Forging Silver into Stars is one I'm not sure on, but I never get rid of it. Then we have a few here. Girl in Pieces I got from my mum, and an arc of Then Things Went Dark. And then we move into my Holly Jackson collection, which I do actually have more of, but they're under my bed again because I just don't have the space. And then I do actually have an arc of the first book, which Gavin from Gavin Reads It All sent to me. I saw he was getting rid of it in his unhaul, and I asked if he wouldn't mind sending it my way, and he did. So yeah, massive thank you, Gavin, for this one. It's honestly a prized possession of mine. Then the books that we had behind the other stack of books are these ones. These are my mystery thriller hardcovers, and yeah, they're just, they're so beautiful. I really do need to get to the ones I haven't read. I've read The Maid, I've also read The Butcher and the Wren, and I think that's it actually, which is awful. So I do need to prioritize the others. And then Full Metal Alchemist is just there because I didn't have space for it anywhere else. Moving on down to the next shelf, it looks like this. Again, I have way too many things on this shelf, but honestly, I don't know where else to put them. So here I have a mug that I got from either Illumicrate or Fairy Loot. It's a mug inspired by Cassandra Clare's universe, and yeah, I really love it. So I keep some bookmarks in there as well. This is another present from Emily. It's an Agatha Christie book club sticker, and I love it, but I keep it there for now until I can find a place for it. I also have a Lord of the Rings gold plaque. I don't know how well you can see that there, but I love it. I have the Cheshire Cat, who is one of my favourite characters, and one of my prized possessions, which is this cross stitch that Karis made for me. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much again, Karis, for this. I want a better place to display it, but for now it does live here. But yeah, massive thank you. I am obsessed with it. So here we have my Thursday Murder Club series. I have read all of these books now, as well as We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. Really enjoyed all of these. I'd highly recommend the audiobooks. I've also read One by One, but I do still need to read these two books, which are the Marple collection from various different authors and The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. I read the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by this author, and I did enjoy it, but I've not read more. But yeah, this is his newest release, and I'm definitely intrigued. I read The It Girl, and I really enjoyed it. Death of a Bookseller is on my Buzzwordathon TBR for this year, so I will be getting to it. The Sanctuary, I'm not sure. I obviously want to get to it because I own it, but yeah, I don't know when I'm actually going to get to it. Then moving these aside, I'll show you what's behind here. Malice is one that I'm slowly losing interest in, which is a bit of a shame. Same goes for Wild and Wicked Things, to be honest, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about them. Stoneblind is one that I should have read when it first came out because I have been eagerly anticipating the release of this book, and I haven't read it yet. The Malevolent Seven is one that I'm debating. I read the first 3 books in the Spellslinger series, and I didn't love them, but this is an adult kind of magician-esque story, so I've been intrigued enough to keep it on the shelves. Ready Player One is on my Buzzwordathon TBR for this year as well. I can't believe I haven't read it yet. It's one of my favourite films of all time, so I feel like I need to give the book a go, and I really do think I'm going to love it. The Stardust Thief and The Phoenix Keeper were both subscription box books. Not really high on my priority at the minute, but obviously they have to be on a shelf somewhere. Then behind here we have some adult fantasy. We have The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. This has been intriguing to me ever since I got it, but again, I'm making no move to actively try and read it. Same goes for the Witch Sign trilogy. I started Witch Sign a while ago now. I think it was like 2 years ago, and I just wasn't in the mood for it, so I put it down and I've never picked it back up. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make some hard decisions soon on whether or not I actually want to try and get to them. Right, moving down to this next shelf. This one and the last one are just, yeah, completely chaotic, so I do apologise, but I do have some overflow books on here that you will see first. So we have What the River Knows. I have read this one, really enjoyed it. I need to read the sequel though, and then I can hopefully shelve it somewhere. Bonesmith and Ghostsmith, they were on the shelves downstairs, but I've since moved them upstairs, and again, I just don't have a place for them. These are all very weird sized books that don't really fit on these shelves properly, so that's why they are there. And then here I have my Prancing Pony mug with my Hobbit or Lord of the Rings related or inspired bookmarks. So yeah, everything in here is to do with Tolkien's world, and I just love it. The Funko Pops I have are of Aragorn and Sansa. Don't worry, as I said, Arwen is coming soon, so he will be reunited with his love, but I just love the look of these two, so I've kept them next to each other there. This is what was hiding behind those stacks of books. So I have the Welsh version of The Hobbit there, there, which I recently read and loved. I have some V.E. Schwab books, and again, V.E. Schwab, I'm not too sure if I actually want to own her books anymore. Nothing against her, I absolutely love her, I've loved her books, but I don't know, I feel like there was a part of me before that wanted to own every single one of her books, and now I feel like I don't need to. For example, The Fragile Threads of Power, I barely remember what happened in that first trilogy, and I don't know if I want to read this one, so again, I'm gonna have to see. Then we have The Forest Grimm, I need to read. A Fating in Blood is one that I have read, and I'm awaiting the sequel. The Voyage Home by Pat Barker, need to prioritise this one. It's a Greek myth retelling, which you guys know I love. Chasing the Boogeyman is a bit of a different one. My stepdad gave it to me, and it just sounds really intriguing, so I definitely want to read it. Then we have some more exclusive edition and subscription box books. The ones that are jumping out at me are The Dagger and the Flame, Vilest Things, because I have read Immortal Longings. These are the Chloe Gong books that I was on about earlier, and also Long Live Evil. I feel like these are going to be my top picks from this stack. The others I'm not too fussed on at this point in time. And then behind Aragorn and Sansa, we have the Last Magician Quartet, which again I've owned for years. I heard Hannah from A Clockwork Reader rave about these, and I think by that point I'd already owned the first two books, and so I carried on buying them, but I still haven't gotten to them. So if any of you have read this series, please let me know your thoughts. From what I can remember, it's a kind of time travel-y heist novel, so yeah, definitely sounds interesting, but I'm just not sure. And now we've come to the last shelf, which looks like this. Isn't this just an absolute mess, guys? I don't have any words, honestly, and I'm gonna hate myself for having to take all of these out from here now to show you what I've actually got there. So as you can see, I do have a few books here. I have The Dark Side, The Odyssey by Stephen Fry, which I'm desperate to get to. I have the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber, some Grady Hendrix, Only a Monster, which I am not sure about. I have the Fortuna Sworn series, which again I'm not sure about, some manga, some more editions of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I have the second and third books in the Blood Song series. That's the one I showed you earlier that didn't have a space. I have Docile, Silence of Bones, and then I have a load of different fantasy books here as well. So let me just take off the books at the front to show you what is hiding behind them. The first lot of books you can see there, we have The King of Elfland's Daughter, Under the Whispering Door, and the new collector's edition of Shatter Me. As well as that, I have my exclusive edition of the Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare. I also have a few books that I got in subscription boxes here that again I'm not too sure on. The one I'm most excited about is Portrait of a Thief. But yeah, I've not prioritised it ever since having it, so we'll see what happens with that one. Then we have these books hiding there as well. Again, a mix of different genres. I am interested in them, but oh my gosh, I just have so many books to read that, especially because they're at the back of the shelves as well, I just don't prioritise them because I do kind of forget that they're there. So hopefully now that, you know, I've had another look, I can remember that they're here. I am also planning on doing some sort of series as well, where I choose books at random to read, and if I don't like them, I will unhaul them. So that is something I've been playing around with, so maybe that will help me tackle this TBR. And then the last set of books that I had hiding on these bottom shelves are these. So again, we have a few paperbacks. Two of them are series that I would like to get to, but again, I'm not prioritizing. One of them being Shatter Me, so you can see I've got two editions of Shatter Me, which is really bad, so I would like to get to these over the summer holidays. Then we have Graceling, which I've heard so many good things about, so I do have those there. And then we have Sister Song, Wendy Darling, and The Tethered Mage. Again, all books I would like to get to, but I'm just trying to prioritize other reads at the minute. So again, I'll show you this stack quickly because I wasn't sure if you could see this properly earlier. We have Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which is a book I've heard a lot about, so I do want to read that one. We have Trial of the Sun Queen and Rule of the Aurora King. I do have Trial of the Sun Queen on my Kindle, so hopefully that will make me prioritize it. Unraveller by Frances Hardinge is an arc that I got at Yelk. I really want to read it. I love The Light Tree by Frances Hardinge, and so I do think that this is going to be for me. I then have Raybearer, The Girl King, The Rage of Dragons. I'm desperate to read, but again, I just haven't been prioritizing it. I have Beasts of Prey, The Shadow Keepers, which is an indie fantasy. Same goes for The Spyglass and the Cherry Tree and The Shadowed Eye as well. So yeah, as I said, not nearly as aesthetic as the bookshelves downstairs, but I did want to show you guys because this is the reality. I'm really struggling with space still, and I just need to try and read a lot of the books from this shelf so that I can decide if I want to unhaul them or keep them. And because I'm not not prioritizing them, I don't know if they're going to be new favorites or not either. So yeah, I do have a lot of books that I need to get through. Hopefully that can happen this next year. I have read quite a bit last year, and I think that I could probably hit over 100 again this year, which would be very helpful. I am trying to partake in a lot of challenges as well. I've mentioned Buzzwordathon quite a bit throughout this. Realmathon is happening next month as well, which is a competitive based readathon that I just love. So hopefully I can take part in that and get a lot of books ticked off of my TBR. I have also been a lot better at unhauling books if I don't like them. I feel like if they're 3 stars or just mediocre reads for me, then I don't need to keep them, so I have been getting rid of them. For those of you who are interested, any books that I do unhaul, I put them straight on my Vinted page. I will leave that link down below. I am open to offers. I feel like my prices there are reasonable. These are all in honestly amazing condition, and I'm definitely not the type to ask for an extortionate amount, don't worry. So if there is something you'd like, please message me and I'm sure we could work something out. But that has definitely helped me in terms of, you know, unhauling books straight away and getting them out of my house as well, rather than having them sit there for a length of time and just cluttering the space even more. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this glimpse at reality. It's not always about the aesthetic of things. I am definitely tight on space again. So like I said, my priority this year is to try and read as many books as I can and unhaul the ones that don't really bring me joy. So there we have it, guys. Those are all of my bookshelves. I really hope you enjoyed seeing how I've set them up in this new house. Of course, whilst I wish I could have my library room back with my wall of bookcases, unfortunately it's just not feasible right now. Our priorities have changed slightly, and I want this house to be so inviting to people as well, and I wanted to use the space as best as possible, and that unfortunately meant that I couldn't have a dedicated room for filming and for my books. But to be honest, now that I've been here a few months, I can honestly say that I love this setup. It really works for me. There are definitely spaces where I could put bookshelves in the future if I wanted to as well. However, I'm trying my best not to overcrowd this house with books. I am trying my best to keep on top of reading them and unhauling as well, just because I know I don't need to keep every book that I have ever read. There are some that are all-time favourites and that I will own multiple editions of, and I'm not ashamed of that, but then there are others that I've read once, I probably won't revisit again. I had a good time, but I don't need to keep them in my forever collection. If you have watched this video all the way through and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me the stack of books as the emoji of the video. I know I say it all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. It blows me away that you guys watch these all the way through. So if you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please go ahead and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. I am going to close out this video here. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!